Very well. So why don't we begin making the third character for the Gathering of Nerds one-shot in this coming week. We've made 2 characters already, and in a quick review, we had Elderson Melandro of the Shepherds, who is an illusionist wizard, a standard bearer soldier. Then we made Cormoraine Stormheart, a.k.a. Stormtear, who is a sea elf. And kind of off camera, I started filling in some little roleplay prompts as well, Lethality, so that whoever gets this character can read more about the things that we were discussing that go into the context of the character. And I need to sit down and do that also with Elderson and point out that whoever pilots this character, don't waste your money on armor spells. Just don't. Just be a hit point or an avoidance wizard. And you'll have a lot of fun. Alright, so anyway, who is this third character? Let's meet him or her. Oh, and by the way, this was a multi-class character. A rogue thief and a moon druid. So let's find out. Character number 3. And by the way, Lethality and others, thank you for helping to answer Amy Chibi's questions. So there's some prompts that I'm going to roll here. Let's start out. Do we have a female character, a male character, or a multi-class character? In which case we'll roll again. We have a female character. And there are 31 choices for race that were approved by Lethality for use in his one-shot. I'm going to make a 31-sided die and roll it. A 28. Hey, we have a Tortle. Alright, so we have a female Tortle. Hydrogen, I do not know. The precursor spreadsheet to this is actually available as a pinned message download on our table talk, our general chat on Discord. The alignment of this character is... We rolled 81. We have a neutral evil. We have another neutral evil character. Well, hang on to that name. We'll get there after a while. Now, we know that we're making an 18th level character. Tortles are also medium-sized creatures. We'll find out if it's a teenage character. Now let's roll to see if we're replacing any ability score improvements with feats. Nope, we are all ASIs. Next up, let's determine the background this character has. There are 52 backgrounds from the sources that we have available to us. We rolled 10. 10 is a Cloistered Scholar. And I do believe this is the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. A Cloistered Scholar. Alright, what is next? We're going to determine our Scholar's class and subclass. I'm going to roll this big golden D12. Oh, I love rolling this thing. And here we go. A 7. We have a Paladin. A D&D equivalent of a nerd. Yes. And which kind of Paladin do we have? There are 7 different Paladins. I'm going to generate a 7-sided die and roll it. I rolled a 3. This is a Crown Paladin, which I believe is also in the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. Paladin, Oath of the Crown. Now, Paladins do get a class feature of a fighting style. So I'm going to roll a d4, and we're going to determine what kind of fighting style our Paladin's getting. We rolled a 3. So we have a great weapon fighting Paladin. Now, let's find the Tortle. And kobolds, tabaxi, tortles. The age ranges are dependent on the lifespan that's indicated in the racial entry for their wherever they're found in their books or supplements. Now, Cold Spark, it should be said that this is divided up on their biological maturity, not the cultural presumption of adulthood. For example, an 18-year-old, 20-year-old, even a 16-year-old elf has physically matured at the same rate as a 16-year-old human. Pretty much isn't going to grow much more bodily. However, in Elven society, according to the player's handbook, you're not an adult in that society until you're 100 years old. Now, you have the body of an adult, you know, from way before that, but you're not considered an adult till you're 100. What you're seeing up here is the physical maturity in their life cycle. So, I mean, Tortles might be different. Actually, if we look at Dragonborns mature very quickly. They, at the age of 2, they have the physical and mental maturity of a 10-year-old human. And so from cues like that is how we have the stat line built. So rolling a percentile, 89. So we have an old Tortle. And so Tortles don't live very long here. So we have 36 plus 1d6 years. So we have an old Tortle at 39 years. How about a dragon turtle in regards to what, Amy? Now, a turtle's base height is 4'8". We're going to add a height modifier of 2d10. So we're adding 13 inches. So that's going to be... so that's going to be 5'9". And we're going to take this same 13 and multiply it by 1d4 and add that to the base weight of 370. Times 3. So we have 39 pounds. So 409 pounds at 5'9". Yes. Yeah, so not Royce to 5'9", right? How long do dragon turtles live? I don't know offhand, Amy Chibi. We'd have to look at the monster manual for that. And I don't have that open currently, but we could take a look at it later if you don't have one in front of you. Or if someone else out there has their monster manual out, then maybe they can answer your question. But they're presumably long-lived, just like dragons. Dragons can be eternal beings unless they're killed by something else. All right, so unfortunately, we don't have a teenage turtle. It is what it is. There's a couple more numbers that I want to put down as placeholders, and those are the 2 personality traits, the ideal, the bond, and the flaw. 2d8 for the personality traits. 6'2", 353. 6'2", 3, 5, and 3. Now, I don't know what those mean, and at the moment, it doesn't matter. Those are placeholders for us. Now we have the basics of our character, the framework. We have the skeleton, and it's time, hey, to put us some meat on the bones, huh? I like starting with the background of a character, because it tells us who our character is. A tortle is a tortle is a tortle is a tortle. A paladin, whatever. It's a paladin. Though, who is this person? Who is this person? Let's find out. So we have our source book open, and odds are we're going to have to draw some aspects from the sage. And so I'm going to keep this open. However, let's open the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. And go to the Cloistered Scholar. So here's fluff, right? Background stuff, things to get you thinking, kind of in the mood for the character. Will that apply to this one? Probably not, because this isn't necessarily Forgotten Realms, unless I'm missing something, Lethality, and you do run some of your one-shots in Forgotten Realms, in Faerun or Tortle, broadly. So we're really just going to be worried about what are we getting here. Our skill proficiencies, then, I'm going to scoot this over just a bit. Our skill proficiencies are going to be History, plus our choice of one from Arcana, Nature, and Religion. I'm not going to fill that in yet, because I want to know more about our personality before we assign the pursuits that she's gone through. In your own world, gotcha. I thought as much, but I didn't know if you ever dipped into settings or not. Languages, 2 of our choice. So I would have to look at the... Well, I'm going to look at the Tortle package in order to get that info. But I imagine you get common, maybe if there's a Tortle language. But then we're going to get 2 other languages to fill in. Our equipment, a scholar's robes of your cloister. So, scholar's robes. A writing kit. A borrowed book on the subject of your current study. Book about, and I'm just going to put a placeholder question mark. And we'll come back and fill that in with her, something that would be, personable to her. And a pouch with 10 gold pieces. Language, New York. Language, pizza. Language, ninja. Now, our background feature is library access. And I'll type this out because you were talking about lethality. If it's in the player's handbook, you said just put the reference. Anything else, make a note about it. So, library access. Let's see. Though others must often endure extensive interviews and significant fees to gain access to even the most common archives in your library, you have free and easy access to the majority of the library, though it might also have repositories of lore that are too valuable, magical, or secret to permit anyone immediate access. You have a working knowledge of your cloister's personnel and bureaucracy, and you know how to navigate those connections with some ease. Additionally, you are likely to gain preferential treatment at other libraries across the realms, as professional courtesy shown to a fellow scholar. So we have greater and expedient access to library info. Actually, instead of greater, we have preferential. and expedient access to library info. And we may also use our knowledge of personnel and bureaucracy. Let's see here. To have greater connections. Any ideas on how to make a hippo a viable mount? What would you need to do that? What class? Barbarian? Druid, maybe? What race would be suitor? Taming a hippo isn't really bound to a race. Any race could do it, Amy Chibi. As for making it a viable mount, if you use the Paladin spell, find steed, then you could talk to your dungeon master and just ask, can I have a hippo instead of a horse? Or something else. As for taming one, well, you'd have to go to a place that has them wild, and then your dungeon master would have you maybe perform some kind of test, or you cast an enchantment spell on an animal to make it friendly towards you. There you go. Lethality as being a sea elf. And so in this case, maybe whoever plays Cormoraine can have a hippo also. All right. Suggested characteristics. Look at the sage background for in the player's handbook as a basis for your traits and motivations. All right, so here we go. So we already have our feature. Not worried about that. Our personality trait. Oh, actually, I should ask. Lethality, do you want me to randomly determine a specialty? Or is this already just a specialty librarian? And I don't need to worry about rolling a specialty for this character for you. Very well. Let's see which kind of cloistered like our specialist is. We rolled a 1 in Alchemist. Well, so this could help determine stuff. So we had a cloistered scholar who is an alchemist. Now we come back here and our personality traits. Move this back over. So our first personality trait is going to be number 6. And that reads, I speak slowly when talking to idiots, which almost everyone is compared to me. And personality trait number 2. I've read every book in the world's greatest libraries. Or I like to boast that I have. Any book I haven't read isn't worth reading anyway. You almost took that for Celine? Ha ha ha. Now, next up, we have her ideal. Her ideal is number 3, logic. Emotions must not cloud our logical thinking. I'm already starting to get the feeling about why our character is neutral, evil, and alignment. And I do want to remind you all out there, especially if you're new to D&D, just because your character is evil doesn't mean that they are murderers or that they kick puppies. In this case, we have someone who's just very self-centered. We have someone who is out for her own gainful knowledge, has secluded herself for years at a time to read books, not really caring about anyone else. Maybe to an ideal, which is how we're going to have our Paladin hood. Hey, welcome back, Half Demon Dan. Now, her bond is number 5. I've been searching my whole life for the answer to a certain question. Ooh, and what would that question be? If we're an alchemist, then perhaps that can be a clue. This is certainly going to prompt some good storytelling, some backstory questions. We are creating a random character for Lethality Complex to run in his one-shot this upcoming week. Actually, this is character 3 of 4, so we're going to do one more after this. Now, what is her flaw? As all of us are flawed creatures, my friends, hers is number 3. Unlocking an ancient mystery is worth the price of a civilization. Again, this is perhaps going into the fact that she is willing to, 10 should die so that 1,000, well, it would actually kind of be the reverse, because 1,000 should die if it'll unlock this ancient mystery. Though, of course, you could extrapolate that and be like, well, and it'll save millions. So what's the loss of one city if the planet can continue to function? Or other such thoughts, logical puzzles, as she is wont for logic. We randomly generated placeholders with a dice roller, Dan, and now what we're doing is we're filling in those placeholders with entries from the books that match, so that we're discovering our character one step. Almost bit my tongue. One step at a time. Oh, hey, thank you very much, Diadems, for that gift to Half Demon Dan. And, Dan, welcome. You now have some guac next to your name, and, check out, you have some fun emotes. So now we know who our character is by their background, by what they've done in life. How do they make their decisions? What are their goals? This is a very good way for us to think about our characters, because they're more than just numbers. If any of you have seen us build a character before, numbers come last. I do not care about the numbers at all in the character creation process. Numbers are character facilitation. They're not the character creation. All right, so now we need to determine, as our race is a tortle. Let's check out the tortles. So, Tortle traits. Your strength score increases by 2 and your wisdom score increases by 1. So 2 strength, 1 whiz. Our age here, we already have our age. We have our alignment. Our speed is 30 feet. Claws. Your claws are natural weapons, which you can use to make unarmed strikes. If you hit with them, you deal slashing damage equal to 1d4 plus your strength modifier, instead of the bludgeoning damage normal for an unarmed strike. So up here we have claws that are going to be 1d4 plus strength. We also can hold our breath. You can hold your breath for up to 1 hour at a time. Tortles aren't natural swimmers, but they can remain underwater for some time before needing to come up for air. So down here we have hold breath. Next we have natural armor. Due to your shell and the shape of your body, you are ill-suited to wearing armor. Your shell provides ample protection, however. It gives you a base AC of 17. Your dex mod doesn't affect this number. You gain no benefit from wearing armor, but if you're using a shield, you can apply the shield's bonus as normal. So our armor class is just going to be 17. Shell defense. You can withdraw into your shell as an action. Until you emerge, you gain a +4 bonus to AC, and you have advantage on strength and constitution saving throws. While in your shell, you are prone, your speed is 0 and can't increase. You have disadvantage on dexterity saving throws. You can't take reactions, and the only action you can take is a bonus action to emerge from your shell. This is when you have the Goliath here throw you in your shell form, like into the enemy ranks. And you just bowl a couple over, you emerge from your shell, and you start whooping on people as a paladin. Alright, survival instinct. You gain proficiency in the survival skills. Or in the survival skill. Turtles have finally honed survival instincts. And you can speak, read, and write Aquan and Common. Ah, alright, so it is Aquan. We have 2 characters that can speak Aquan. Interesting. Like a Tortle Captain America shield. There you go, Evie. In a sense, it's kind of the elemental language of aquatic creatures. All right, now the rest of the Tortle package here, not worried about it. It's a fun little adventure. You can make a band of turtles, and you can have fun in the jungles of Chult that don't directly involve the Tomb of Annihilation. Though if you want to work it in, you certainly may. I don't know offhand. I'd have to check the monster manual if Kuo-toa speak Aquan. Mermaids can be dangerous. I mean, so too can humans or elves. It all depends on the context of your encounter, Dan. And I actually do need to go back, and I'm going to put a little note, because this is from the Tortle package here. For shell defense. So this is as an action. Withdraw into shell for +4 AC and advantage to strength and con. Disadvantage to dex 0 speed. No reactions. Only action is bonus to emerge. All right. Now we're going to go to the player's handbook and find out what do we get for being a paladin. Not the archetype, not our subclass, not our oath. This is the baseline that all paladins get in 5th ed D&D. Hey Donnie, welcome. We're making our 3rd random character for lethality in the Gathering of Nerds crew. So here we go at 18th level. Look at that. Oh, look at that. We get 1 5th level spell. Heck yeah. So we are 4, 3, 3, 3, and 1. And Diadems, thank you for gifting that to Call Me Evie. Welcome aboard, Evie. Yes, all classes have subclasses that specialize them in some way. And yeah, if you're of a level to get it. Hey, I'm walking here. Did you mean a 5th level smite? An optional 5th level smite. Alright, we are a D10 hit die class. And so we have 18 of them as we're an 18th level character. Your hit die represent a pool of natural recovery that you can tap into during a rest that doesn't involve magic spells or consumables. Proficiencies. Well, we're proficient in all armor. It's not going to do us any good, but we're proficient in it. Still, I'll write all and shields. We're proficient with simple and martial weapons, as well as our claws. No tool proficiencies. You know, lethality, with the Cloistered Sage, I guess it would make sense if we know 2 languages because we are more of a specialized librarian. In this case, because you did say we could roll for a specialty, and we ended up with alchemy, would you allow us to sacrifice one of the languages for a proficiency in alchemy tools? Yes, this is going to be a paladin character, Dan. Or is this simply like a research, like a theoretical alchemist, and so she's not proficient with the tools, but she's very well versed? It's on flavor, so you don't mind? All right. So we're going to walk back one of the languages and give her alchemy tools proficiency. I don't know if it's alchemy tools or supplies or a kit. Anyway, there they are. All right. Saving throws are going to be wisdom and charisma. Oh, you know what? We still get to go and choose real quick. Your choice from Arcana, Nature, and Religion. I would say she's an alchemist, and alchemy is sort of physical magic in a sense. I think it wouldn't hurt if our character wasn't proficient in Arcana. So here we go. We have we're going to be a paladin with the Oath of the Crown, and so we have a fully armored state alchemist character who's loyal to the leader. So let's see. We can. I don't know if it. It wasn't that lame. Come on, everyone. Were none of you making this connection either? Come on, come on, come on. Don't leave me hanging. All right, so we're going to choose 2 skills from athletics, insight, intimidation, medicine, persuasion, and religion. Let's see. We're a cloistered scholar. We've read every book. I think religion doesn't need to persuade anyone to do anything. I don't know if we really have an intimidating person. We're logical. I think medicine, because that can help support the alchemy side of things. And remember, medicine just isn't physical health. It could also be mental health. And religion are going to be the way forward. Well, adventurers are individuals, Dan. There are different adventurers for every person out there. That's why I start with the background first. Exactly. Adventurers are people too. All right, so we're going to start with the following. Now, did I put in starting gear like that? No, I didn't put anything besides... Well, I guess I did put the spell book from the class. I didn't... You know what? I didn't give her anything... Oh, yeah, I guess I gave her some of that stuff there. Thieves' tools. All right, so never mind. Let's go through. Now, the martial weapon isn't really going to matter because we're going to be giving some magical items to these characters. So starting out with something like, you know, we get to start with 2 martial weapons. Or we can start with a martial weapon and a shield. Really, this isn't going to matter as much because we're going to be giving them a greater upgrade than just what their starting gear is going to be. Still, you know, we can always say that we have a shield, and we can go with something. Let's see. We have a librarian. We have someone with a warhammer. Maybe a warhammer would be fun, because you could use a warhammer in great weapon fighting. Of course, we can also just use a maul. Yeah, let's go with a warhammer. Sometimes you gotta clock people's heads to make them be quiet in the library. Well, that depends. I mean, you could still carry a shield and equip it if you need to. You absolutely could. So, why not have a shield just in case? And again, we're actually going to be starting... And by the way, Warhammer, because it's versatile, you can get great weapon fighting with the versatile property. But still, these weapons aren't going to be the ones that we're going to be ending up with ultimately. 5 javelins or a simple melee weapon. Definitely we're going to go for the priest's pack. Actually, this is our second character with a priest's pack? No, that's a scholar's pack. Ah. I guess similar to a writing kit. So we have a priest's pack and chainmail. Though, I mean, the chainmail is symbolic. Maybe, as you're talking about, someone brought up, can they wear a helmet? So maybe we just wear something like a chain coif. C-O-I-F. Chainmail, we'll just call this a symbolic coif. And a holy symbol of some kind. All right, now, for being a paladin, we get divine sense. We can reach out and try and feel if there are good guys or bad guys around, to put it very simply. This is on page 84 of the player's handbook if you're following along at home. And so we can do divine sense equal to Cha plus 1 every long rest. We're also going to get lay on hands, which is a way for us to remove disease and poisons and to help our allies recover. And we get 5 points. We get 5 points per level, so we're going to have 90 hit points of lay on hands that we can use. And that's all here also on page 84. We have our fighting style, so great weapon fighting. When you roll a 1 or 2 on a damage die for an attack you make with a melee weapon that you're wielding with 2 hands, you can re-roll the die and must use the new roll. The weapon must have the two-handed or versatile property for you to gain this benefit. Spellcasting, spellcasting spells we're going to get to later. Those require numbers, and we're not at the number stage yet. Now, we get Divine Smite. However, because we're making an 18th level character, I'm simply going to write it as Improved Divine Smite. And so this is going to... this scales with the spell slot that you're pouring into the Divine Smite. And the Improved is going to give an extra rider on top of that. Oh yeah, Monkey Grip. Yeah, I remember that from 3.5. Exactly, Lethality. You could play as a barbarian from Diablo 2. Maybe even in 3. I forget if barbarians get if they could dual wield Zweihanders in 3. Now we also have Divine Health. We're immune to disease. They can. Okay, all right. At 3rd level, that's when we swear our sacred oath, and of course we'll get oath spells and such. We'll worry about that in a little bit. Ability score improvements, we'll worry about that also in a little bit. We also are getting our extra attack at level 5. At level 6, we get Aura of Protection. And as we're 18th level, this goes out to 30 feet. Oof, 18th level paladins don't play around with their auras. You and friendly creatures within 10 feet of you can't be frightened while you're conscious. Then we have Improved Divine Smite. Oh yeah, we have that Cleansing Touch. Beginning at 14th level, you can use your action to end one spell on yourself or one willing creature that you touch. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your Charisma modifier. So down here we have Cleansing Touch equals Charisma per long rest. And we'll fill these numbers in a little bit. No, textbook, look, do what you gotta do. You have your own life to live. There's other shows to watch. You have homework, or you have sports ball, or whatever. Whatever you're doing, it's absolutely fine. I don't count people and like, oh, where were you? How dare you miss a show? Not at all. All right, so this is our capstone for being a paladin is at 14, though our level 20 capstone is actually contained within our oath. Because our oath is really what refines us and defines us as a paladin. So now we're going to go back to the Sword Coast Adventures Guide because we rolled the Oath of the Crown. Oh, so you were the seventh wheel? That's fine. No, look, family time is family time. Don't worry about it, textbook. Oath of the Crown is sworn to the ideals of civilization, be it the spirit of a nation, fealty to a sovereign, or service to a deity of law and rulership. The paladins who swear this oath dedicate themselves to serving society, and in particular, the just laws that hold society together. So remember, we are a state-sanctioned alchemist that is nothing but living armor, effectively. A completely original idea, especially because we're super loyal to our country's leader, and shouldn't question it. Hi, you want to come see everyone? Come on. Come on. Yeah, look at you. All right. We have cat butt, everyone. If you have the emote, this is the time to share it. A Vengeance Paladin is Batman. Dan. Now, Lethality, do you want me to do anything regarding the tenets of the crown? Is that anything that comes into play in your one shot, or would you leave that for your player to think about if that is relevant at all? Bye. Okay. Now, we're going to have access to some spells that our oath opens up to us. Because of our study, because of the gift from a deity, or just our own internal convictions manifesting through the aether of magic. We're going to be guaranteed these spells. Not to cast for free. They still cost a spell slot, but these are always prepared. Command and Compel Duel. Warding Bond and Zone of Truth. Aura of Vitality and Spirit Guardians. Whoop. Banishment and Guardian of Faith. Circle of Power and Gaius. I don't think a Whispers Bard would be Joker. I think that'd be more like a Riddler. Because a College of Whispers is more someone to spread, dissent and rumors and that sort of a thing, to kind of like cause unease. I dare say Scarecrow might be a College of Whispers Bard. While I'm on this page, spellcasting ability for Paladins is off of Charisma. Paladin spell list and spells prepared equals half of our level, so 9, plus our Charisma modifier. And so we'll come back and fill that in. Now we are going to get Channel Divinity, our good old Chandiv. And we are going to get Champion Challenge, as well as Turn the Tide. Now, I know I'm making, for the archetype, because it's in the Sword Coast Adventures Guide, I will write this out down below here. So, Channel Divinity. champion challenge. You issue a challenge that compels other creatures to do battle with you. Each creature of your choice that you can see within 30 feet of you must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, a creature can't willingly move more than 30 feet away from you. This effect ends on the creature if you are incapacitated or die, or if the creature is moved more than 30 feet away from you. And then we have Turn the Tide. As a bonus action, you can bolster injured creatures with your channel divinity. Each creature of your choice that can hear you within 30 feet of you regains hit points equal to 1d6 plus charisma modifier. If it has no more than half of its hit points. All right, you're done for the night? Wait, is that just for puns, or are you going to bed, Evie? Grimvex, we're making our third random character for Lethality Complex to run for in the Gathering of Nerds in his weekly one-shot. Well, if not puns, you know, like references and such. Now we are also going to have Divine Allegiance. When a creature within 5 feet of you takes damage, you can use your reaction to magically substitute your own health for that of the target creature, causing that creature not to take the damage. Instead, you take the damage. This creature, or this damage to you, can't be reduced or prevented in any way. So for, actually, what I should do then is... Oh, actually, no, I can write this in. So we also have advantages on versus paralyzed and stunned. That's unyielding spirit. So then Divine Allegiance, and we'll put down here Divine Allegiance. Reaction. A creature within takes... you know what? I'm going to put this in character backstory just so we have a... Oh, actually, let's Control X. This will be better. within 5 feet of you takes damage. You can use your reaction to magically substitute. So in an anti-magic field, you can't do this. Your own health for that of the target. Causing them to not take the damage. Instead, you take it. And it can't be reduced or prevented in any way. There we go. Oh, I wish I could help you out with that problem, Grimvex. You're going to return after dinner? All right, Evie. Welcome back when you're back. All right, excellent. We have an 18th level character, mostly. We have the character. We know how she makes decisions. We know her past. We know her personality. We know her abilities and what she gets by way of being a Tortle. Now that we have this chassis for our character, we can drop the numbers and make the engine work. So Paladins for sure are strength and charisma based. Though, you know, we have I think we have a very smart, we have a very smart Tortle here. And I kind of want to go something like, if we go 15, 14, actually 14, 13, 12. She's kind of older. She might not have a ton of hit points. Magnificent AC, though. And she can also cure herself. And 8 dex. Now, if we go with this spread, because this is just how I'm really getting a feel for her, right? She's very logical. I mean, honestly, we could probably almost put, nah, whatever. We're going to add our 8 points anyway to her. But we're definitely going to be bumping up that intelligence, because I think it would be fun to have a scholar, right? We have a 0 intelligence here. We have a 4 here, which isn't bad at all. But to have someone else that can step up in some way, having read books, at least to a 14. But if we do this, our wisdom would be 13 from our racial modifier, and our strength goes to a 17. Now we get to improve our ability scores at 4, 8, 12, and 16. And every time we get one of these stat bumps, we can increase 1 score by 2, or 2 scores by 1. So effectively, we have 8 points that are just floating out there. And if we do this, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I kind of want to put it into intelligence, because charisma, of course, is a part of the Paladin. She's been secluded. At the same time, though, if she is this state-sponsored alchemist, she does go out, and she does need to perform on behalf of the crown. I'm really tempted to give her that 16 int. And not just for mechanical reasons, but for story reasons, I think we're going to go with an 18 charisma. Yep, and that'll finish it out. All right, so our strength is a 4, dexterity is -1, constitution is 0, intelligence 2, wisdom 2, and charisma is 4. Our proficiency bonus is a +6 at this level. And so now, 4 athletics and saving throws. We're going to copy and paste the -1 into everything dex. Constitution is 0. Intelligence is 2, except Arcana, History, and Religion. Wisdom is 8. Medicine 8. Survival 8. Everything else is 2. And Charisma saving throw is 10, with 4s down the line for other things. Now what that's going to mean as well, for our strength attacks, it's going to be a +10 to hit, as that is our strength modifier plus our proficiency bonus. When we're attacking with our spells, this is also at a +10, because it's a 4 charisma plus our proficiency bonus. And to resist our spells, to calculate resistance, you just add 8. It's always an 8. I can't think of anything that hasn't been calculated otherwise for a save. Also, since we have our charisma modifier, we can go through and we can do cleansing touch 4 times per long rest, and divine sense 5 times per long rest. Next up, we have initiative is going to be a -1. She's not the quickest to act, but whatever. She's a turtle. She has 0 dark vision. Her passive perception is going to be a 12. 10 plus her perception modifier. That's her natural awareness of what is going on around her. To calculate her hit points, you get your maximum hit points of your equal to your hit die at level 1, so it's 10. Her remaining 17 levels of her 18, we go half plus 1, which is 6. Half of 10 is 5, plus 1 is 6. Then for all 18 of her levels, she gets bonus hit points equal to her constitution modifier. That's some easy math, as that's 0. So we're just going to take this off. And then we have, let's see, 102. Plus 10, we have 112 hit points at level 18. Now, we don't know any cantrips as a paladin, but we are going to... bring our numbers down here. 18 to save, our attack bonus is a +10, and we have lay on hands, equal to 5 per level, so we have 90 hit points. We can prepare 9 spells, which is half of our paladin level, plus our charisma modifier, so we can prepare 13 spells in addition to our oath spells. And our spell slots for this level is 4, 3, 3, 3, and 1. And so it will be up to the player who's playing this character, as Lethality had indicated, to choose the spells to fill in here. Now, this is a fun little, I guess, a prompt. She has a borrowed book about a question that she's been studying. Now, if she's an alchemist in this case, and I know that I was joking into Full Metal Alchemist, especially Brotherhood, and tortles don't live very long naturally. Not compared to their bestial cousins, who can live hundreds of years. So what if her field of study is actually about longevity? And of course, hey, Delcorin, all right, call it a night. All right, have a good night. Be well, Delcorin. What if she's studying ways to lengthen one's life? Now, of course, this can also be a very selfish pursuit, leaning into that neutral evil pursuit of I want to live. I'm old, and I'm old at 39. Like I have half of my my turtle foot in the grave. This could be my last adventure if I don't discover something. And of course, if you have the government backing and you're willing to perform some experiments in alchemy that could have you take the life of others and add it to your own or some such. Of course, in the name of the crown, so that you could lengthen the life of the king. But of course, the king or queen would be glad to reward their prime state alchemist for discovering this secret, huh? Right? Emotions shouldn't cloud our logical thinking. I've been searching my whole life for the answer to a certain question. And in this case, then, that is going to be about increasing longevity. By various means. And so in this case, unlocking an ancient mystery is worth the price of a civilization. You would be willing to sacrifice, say, like, an entire country to find the secret of life and to create life out of nothing more than alchemical components. You know, knowledge at any price. And now she has earned herself a name, everyone. She's no longer a pile of stats. I think Evie wanted to call her Chimney, and so we can consider that if you'd like. Do any of you have any suggestions for the name for this alchemist, cloistered scholar, paladin who's devoted, you know, to crown or country or just the concept of civilization and its endurance? What I'll put that as a placeholder here. And I think this could almost be a nickname that other people call her. Maybe because of that symbolic chainmail coif or coif that she wears. Or the fact that she's old, maybe her skin is starting to gray. And so her head kind of looks like some smoke that's coming out of a chimney of the shell. Now, she probably doesn't like that, or I don't know, maybe she leans into it. But we have this character. All right, I got to get up and take a break here. I'm going to go take a little walk around, refresh myself. You all do the same, and when we come back, we're going to make the 4th random character for Lethality Complex's party for his Gathering of Nerds one-shot this coming week. I'm really excited about it.